You became a father at 16, bro.
16. It's one of those, if not the greatest, luxury that you have is to look after someone else. And I fell in love I was in the delivery room. The moment she came out, I don't know what happened, but something came over me, and I knew that I had to protect her for the rest of her life. I'm 16 years old. I'm in the 11th grade. You know what I mean? And funny story about that. The day of, I'm at school when my daughter's mother went into labor, and so my mom comes up to the school. I was across the street at my homegirl's house, just like chilling, And
Skipping?
So, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
In case she sees this, you know what I mean?
We used to skip back in the day, young people.
Yeah, I'm sure my mom's going to see this.
Sorry,
about
Mom.
that. So she doesn't even know the story. So I came back to school. It was like lunchtime, so we just went over there to like get something to eat.
Yeah.
And I came back, and my friend was like, "Is your mom like light skinned and pretty, kind of tall?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah, she's looking for you." And I was like, "Where? Like, what did I do?" So apparently they put out an all call on the PA. Terrence Cunningham, please come down to the office. But I wasn't there, so I didn't know. So eventually I see her, and she was like, Wendy's in labor. We got to leave right now. And she's like, "Where were you?" I was like, "Oh, I made something up." I was like, I don't know. But she was so hype. You know what I mean? So we go to the hospital, and seeing child, I literally held her leg. I saw her get her epidural, So seeing all of that at 16 years old is a lot, right? So I'm just making sure she's okay, making sure, obviously she's in pain, but the moment Tamia came out, it was like this wave of euphoria.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'd never felt I cried like a baby. I'd never felt such a magnitude of emotion in my life, and especially to experience that at 16 years old. So in that moment, I think the luxury of having a child young, I wasn't thinking about where she was going to go to college. I wasn't thinking about any of that. All I knew is that I don't want her to be in any discomfort in any way, shape, or form, right? And so I remember I called my father, and I just kept saying, she's here. And I broke, you know what I mean? And I was like, I guess that's what it means to be overjoyed, right? Because we love that song. And man, I haven't experienced that since. That was 26 years ago. And I haven't felt that wave. I mean, after a dope show, you know how, when you spend like, yo, I killed.
Yeah.
But that magnitude of like, you know what I mean? And she was premature, so she had to stay in the incubator for like a week or two.
Okay.
And so I would go see her, and they would let me hold her. And the hardest thing was always putting her back, because I knew, that I couldn't take her home. You know what I mean? But I mean, she's perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people know that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember how she smelled as a baby, and I would never forget it. So our connection is really, really, it's really tight, man. She's like one of my best friends, because legit, we raised each other. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it meant to be a father. I don't think anyone knows what it means to be a parent.
Regardless
all
of
babies
age,
are different,
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just adjust. There's certain things I can't, well, she's an adult now, but there's certain things I couldn't say because it would hurt her feelings. I never really yelled. That's not my way. I never like spanked her or anything. Maybe a pop her once or twice, but not full on, like never.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to communicate, and I had to learn how to be patient and how to be compassionate and how to be empathetic, because this is a little girl and she's my little girl, right? So it's like, Daddy had to kind of talk. I still refer to myself in the third person when I talk to her. I talked to her yesterday. It's like, well, Daddy loves you, still. And that's my homie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it taught me a lot about life. It taught me a lot about how to, as much as one can muster, how to properly entreat other people. You just try to be a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
And you got that at 16.
Yes.
Because what I'm always thinking about is, for me, I don't have any children. I got a godson, and a lot of what you're sharing about your experiences with your daughter is, I can relate to some of those because I was there when he was born. I remember how grimy I was
Okay.
when it came to women, and how jaded I was in regards to how I felt men and women related, and what men's access to women was, all of these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I think over time that started to evolve, but I went through the dirty route to the path.
Yeah.
But as a 16-year-old, I'm imagining your relationship to the opposite sex shifting at such an early point that it changed like how you saw just women in general from 16 forward. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah. I mean, her mother and I dated for like a year, and we're teenagers, you know what I mean? And as far as I know, we were each other's first. So we were already in love, and we did what people in love do, And when I found out she was pregnant, I was like, yeah, that's probably about right. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, I had to tell my parents. So that's a completely different thing. And so it sort of worked out because my sister got pregnant at like 18, 19.
She older or younger?
Older.
Okay.
She's about 19 or 20, I think. And she got pregnant, right? And so I was like, oh, by the way, my mom found out that I got somebody pregnant at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Bro. So it was sort of easy because it wasn't a foreign idea.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they were already dealing with that with my sister, and my daughter's mother's sister called my mom because my daughter's mother was like, yo, you got to tell her. I was like, yeah. And so she called. I didn't know that she had called my mom and told her, but my mom was more upset that I didn't tell her. And I was like, well, I wasn't ashamed, but I'm like, you want me to tell you? Like, I don't know how to tell you that.
Yeah.
We grew up in church. My mom's a minister. Like, we grew up in church. And our daughters are 5 days apart. Yes. Born in the same week, bro. My niece and my daughter are best friends. They are literally my niece is 5 days older than my daughter.